Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new then welcome. My name's Christina, and on my channel we talk all things beauty from my own experiences. So before you go, make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave any comments that you have for me down below. I feel like I have not stopped saying this within my last couple of videos, but I have been gone for a little while. I haven't been filming as consistently, and this time it's because I recently went on my very first creators trip. I went on a trip to New Orleans with Creators and Friends. It's an organization that brings creators together to celebrate community over competition, and oh my goodness, was it probably the best professional experience I've ever had thus far being in this beauty space. We went there Tuesday through Friday, so I spent practically a week there, and I met so many incredible creators, many of who I'm familiar with. I've watched their videos on my own time, and it was such a surreal experience. I will admit I was not feeling the best, as you guys can hear. I have had this residual cough for 2 weeks now. I don't feel sick, but I think actually traveling on a plane and stuff like that just really messed me up, really clogged up my sinuses, and it was not the best. So for half of the trip I was feeling kind of down in the dumps. So I don't know, I just feel like I didn't get to be 100%, but still, even at 98, 97% of myself, I still had the best time, and I'm just so grateful that I got to be a part of this. My friend Lauren May Beauty here on YouTube actually connected me with Simbri and Samantha March, and I cannot wait for the next time. I cannot wait. I've been super antsy to get back and film a little bit for you guys, and today's video we're going to be talking about a bunch of empties. Because the Sephora Savings Event is going on currently, I thought that I would do all of my empties that are available at Sephora and let you guys know if I think it's worth picking up during the sale. I still plan to do a collective empties video. I have a good roundup here actually of products I'm excited to talk about, so if you guys are interested in seeing what I finished up and my thoughts on them, then let's get started. First of all, I feel like I go through these like nothing. The Tower 28 Daily Rescue SOS spray, the facial spray. I have the Kung Fu Panda limited edition one that I bought myself, and then they ended up sending it to me in PR, so I'm actually using my second Kung Fu Panda one, and then I have just the regular packaging here. I love this. As you can tell, I continue to go through this. I'm aware that this is just hypochlorous acid. Someone in the comments when I was talking about this told me you can purchase just hypochlorous acid on Amazon, so I had done that, so I had something that I could use after cycling or in between the days or something. And honestly, this still feels like a more refined type of hypochlorous acid. What I mean by that is this has a finer mist, but not only that, the actual formulation, it doesn't feel as alcohol-y or acidic as the other hypochlorous acid that you can purchase on Amazon. The other one just smells a little heavier. It smells a little bit more like a chemical, while this one doesn't seem to have any scent. Well, it does have a slight scent, I will say, but it's not as heavy as the alternative one, you know, and I just love Tower 28 as a whole, as a brand, so I have no problem in continuing to support them, and I'm also obsessed with all of their products. I would highly recommend you pick this up if you have any sort of redness, irritation, just everyday type of redness. I don't have rosacea, I don't have eczema, but I still find that I get a lot of help out of this, especially because I am very acne prone, and I also know my skincare routine as a whole really helps with my acne, but I definitely think that once I started using this, it just overall balances my skin for the long run. My Kosas Serene Clean AHA deodorant, I believe this is my second, maybe third tube of this. This is the only deodorant I use. This is the deodorant that I swear by, and it's also the one that I have recommended to friends and family and strangers alike. It is the best. So it is this roll-on, and I wouldn't even call it a gel. I would say that it's a liquid. It's a very, very thin, as you can see. Oh, there's still a little bit in here. It does have a little bit more of a viscosity to it, where it's not thin like water. You can definitely feel a little bit of slip whenever you put this on. It has a very, very slight scent to it. I don't even notice it when I use it, but they also have a fragrance-free version. I go with the Serene Clean just because I feel like I get a little bit more security with something that smells like a deodorant that has some sort of scent, you know? I've been using natural deodorants for years now, but before that, I was using like Secret Clinical because I was very sweaty, I was very stinky, and with other natural deodorants, I would notice that after a while, I would start smelling a little bit, but it was fine because it was like at the end of the day. But with this, I can go a couple days without smelling. And I do use this every day, but if like I shower at night and then I go work out, after my workout the next day, I still don't smell, and I think that this is incredible. I believe the reason why is because this is an AHA, so it does gently exfoliate under your armpits, so it gets rid of that stinky bacteria. So essentially, it's not just masking the stink under your armpits, but it's also eliminating it at the same time. I also have a friend who I had recommended this to, and she said it actually lightened her underarms as well. So that makes a lot of sense because, again, it is a chemical exfoliant, so it's getting rid of that dead skin. It's sort of like The Ordinary's glycolic acid. Think of that, how people were using that under their armpits, except this is more in an actual deodorant form. I would highly recommend this. I already bought a backup. I actually bought it before the Sephora Savings Event because I was like pretty much out of it and I didn't want to travel and end up running out of my deodorant, so I purchased it last week. By the way, I'm trying to go in order of category, so I'm trying to do skincare first, which is why I'm rummaging through my basket right now. Okay, the next one is the Glow Recipe Plump Hyaluronic Cream. This is a gel cream moisturizer. I would say it's more of a light cream than a gel cream, but I believe the consistency is supposed to be somewhere where it's a gel. Obviously, you can see it's pretty much empty. I would describe this as a whipped gel cream. It does have that lightness of a gel, but definitely has a creamy texture to it, but it's whipped because it feels more bouncy and it feels a little bit lighter than a cream would. I liked this because it gave me a little bit more hydration than your typical gel moisturizer, and it actually felt like it stayed on the skin for a few hours after I had applied it. It does have a slight scent. It was nothing that was too abrasive for me, nothing that lingered. After you kind of spread it out into the skin and it absorbed, it pretty much didn't smell like anything. I love the packaging of this. Glow Recipe has amazing packaging overall. I think it's so cute. This moisturizer was nothing special. It was good, but it was nothing special for me. I loved having this mini so I could travel with it, and it worked really well whenever I traveled with it. I had gone up to the mountains a couple months ago and I brought this with me, and I actually feel like it gave me that added hydration that I needed because at the time it was still a little cooler. It was a little bit more dry than it is here in Florida. I could use this in the AM and the PM, but I typically liked to use this whenever I felt like my skin just needed that added hydration. I like it for the price point. I think it's kind of expensive even on sale. There are other moisturizers that I would recommend. There's actually one in this that I would recommend even more than this. So while it was a really good moisturizer, very, very solid, didn't irritate my skin whatsoever, I probably wouldn't purchase the full size. Next up, I have just this mini. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. I believe that I got this as a gift with purchase or like a promo code whenever I purchased off of Sephora's website. This actually lasted me a pretty long time. If you've never used the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, it is a very popular moisturizer within the beauty and skincare community. I had heard so many good things about this, and for me personally, I feel like this probably worked the best whenever I was using it to prep my skin before makeup. I liked to use this as my moisturizer before makeup. However, I did find that I had to use some sort of mattifying or gripping type of primer on top of it because it does tend to have a little bit more of a slip to it when it comes to a moisturizer. It definitely feels like the type of moisturizer that people would recommend you use because it was very, very rich. But I did feel like even though I would like blend it into the skin, it never fully absorbed into my skin, and it left my skin feeling slightly greasy, which wasn't an issue because it didn't irritate me. It didn't break me out or anything like that, but it definitely left my skin a little bit overly moisturized. I did feel like it allowed my foundations, my concealers, and everything to just glide onto the skin, but because I do have more oily skin, it didn't really allow allow my products to have a full chance of staying on the skin all day long. So that's why I was saying I needed to use a primer on top of it. It would be for moisture, not for longevity. Does that make sense? Because it would probably just like eradicate any dry spots or dry patches that you may have on your skin, give you more of an even base when it comes to texture. But for me, I don't necessarily need that. And because of that, as well as the price point, even on sale, this cream is so expensive. So it's a pass for me, honestly. It's beautiful. It's like my makeup always looked beautiful upon first application, but it kind of just like melted off my skin. Another moisturizer that actually took me a really long time to go through is the Youth to the People Superfood Air Whip Moisture Cream. I feel like I've been talking about this specific jar for so long. So this is their old formulation. I do have the newer formulation in my skincare PR drawer right now, ready to be used. If you guys haven't used Youth to the People skincare, it's amazing. Non-irritating, very effective skincare, at least for me. I liked this a lot because it was more of a creamy moisturizer. You guys know I typically like my gel moisturizers, but this was definitely for me a creamier one, and it was nice and hydrating without feeling too heavy. I felt like I could use this in the morning as well as at night. And in saying that, this is probably one of the only creamy moisturizers that I could possibly see myself using in the morning time. I have a really good morning skincare routine that I like to stick to, but sometimes if I feel like I just want that added hydration on my skin, maybe I plan to use a more mattified foundation or something when it comes to my makeup that day, I'll use a more hydrating moisturizer, and this would be one of them. And it didn't ever feel like it was clogging my pores. It never felt too heavy and greasy. It definitely left me slightly more hydrated than a gel moisturizer would, but still nothing that was irritating or slipped and slid all over my skin, you know, when it comes to a cream moisturizer. I really enjoyed this one. It did have a very slight scent to it, but it didn't bother me. You guys know I can be very sensitive to fragrances, but this was totally fine. I feel like also when I use this at night, I would wake up and my skin would still look really hydrated, and it also looked very plump when I woke up. So I really enjoyed this. I'm very excited to start using the new formulation, kind of see how that compares to this one. I would say that this overall would be pretty good for all skin types. You would probably have to customize it to your skin, but I think that it would probably be the easiest for people that had like normal skin, or if you want a little added hydration like I do sometimes and you have oily skin, I think this would be a really good option. All right, the Peace Out Acne Day and Night Duo. I have this little packet. This has the morning and night healing dots. The day dots, these are sheer acne healing dots, but I will say, I wish that I had one so I could like show you guys. These are not extremely sheer, you know, like not like the Cosrx ones, or gosh, it's slipping my mind what they're called, but there's a bunch of like Asian beauty brands that have like the pimple patches, and they are like, you can't see them at all. They're pretty much non-existent on the face. These you could definitely see. They had a little bit of like that frost look to them, you know. I think mainly because I do have a little bit more of a medium tan skin tone, you could see it more, but if you were on the fair side, maybe it wouldn't be as noticeable. I'm not really sure. And I also think that these in general are just thicker. Like the actual patch was a little bit more thicker than the Cosrx ones or any like Asian brand ones. Now, if you've ever seen me talk about pimple patches, you know that I like the ones that have actual ingredients that help with acne versus the ones that kind of just protect it from external environmental like aggressors, you know. These say that they have obviously hydrocolloid. They also have encapsulated salicylic acid, retinol, and aloe vera. So all of these are supposed to help with texture, with actually healing the acne and soothing the acne spot as well. So for me, I just feel like it works a lot faster. I feel like for someone that is very prone to hyperpigmentation, having those extra ingredients while healing the acne is just very helpful, and it just speeds up the process of healing altogether from when I get the pimple or even before it like emerges on the skin to whenever the the dark spot goes away, you know? So I did like these because I felt like they were effective. However, these were definitely ones that I would probably only use at night. Even the day dots, I would typically only use those at night or during the day if I were staying home. And I also feel like these did not stick as well as my other patches, but they still stuck, you know? So I would definitely have to always use this on clean, washed skin, like cleansed skin, and then put it on. But if I ever had one like in my hairline, if there was like a little baby hair that got caught in the patch, forget it. These were not gonna stick on, you know, or there'd be like a little flap. I like something that's more invisible and something that's gonna stick even harder than these did, but they did work. So if you think that these are gonna be sheer on you and you wanna buy something that's like a duo pack, these are a good option, but personally, I probably wouldn't repurchase them. Next up is the Dieux Air Angel Hydrating Gel Cream, and I actually finished this up on my trip in New Orleans. I was pretty sad because I was like, oh no, my day moisturizer is all gone. So I had ended up unscrewing it and kind of just like chopsticking out the rest of the product, you know, just scraping it off. I already made one Sephora order during the Sephora sale for VIB Rouge, and this was included in that. This is so good. It's just incredible. So hold on, let me look at my notes. Okay, so for me, this texture is ideal. It is incredible. Ooh, there's still a little bit in here. Maybe I should use this up. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. But I thought, you know, it's not pumping out, so I considered it an empty, and also low-key I wanted to include it in this video so I could talk about it with you guys. This is the texture of that moisturizer. As you can see, it's more of a jelly texture, but it does have that creaminess to it. Like, you can definitely see it's a little bit more creamy than just your average gel moisturizer. But where this really shines for me is the texture of it. So you do have that gel feeling to it, but it also feels like a cream. But when you're rubbing this in, it feels silky. There's something so silk and like, not slippery, but just truly silky about this moisturizer, and it feels like it actually is like drinking up. Like, it feels like my skin is actually drinking up this moisturizer. It's very confusing and hard to explain for me. As you're rubbing it in, your skin is already feeling so much more nourished, hydrated. Like, it actually feels softer. My skin actually feels baby soft whenever I apply this moisturizer, and it absorbs fully. It absorbs very quickly, but even after it absorbs, my skin still feels super soft. And it's one of the moisturizers where I feel like I can visibly see my skin plump up. My skin looks plump and like soft and supple and incredible. When you look up Dieux on TikTok, they talk all about the science of their products, and that is one of the reasons why I finally bit the bullet and bought this. They just explain it so well, and they seem to know what they're doing. Okay, I know that there are a lot of brands that like say this or that and talk about studies and all this stuff, and you know, they can throw like scientific terms at me and I would believe it. But truly, I genuinely feel like they actually put in so much thought behind their products. And also, this is an airless pump, by the way, so it allows you to get every little bit of product out of here before it's empty. They do talk about their packaging, like how this looks smaller than a regular moisturizer, but it actually is just like minimal packaging, and it's pretty much the same as like a standard moisturizer on the market. Just phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about it. It is very expensive though. It's $44, I believe, give or take, but with that 20% off if you are Rouge, or just in general if you are shopping the sale, I think it's worth picking up because truly it is like one of the best moisturizers that I've used in a very long time. So I love this. Next, we have a lip scrub. This is the Fenty Beauty lip scrub, and I bought this quite a while ago. And look, guys, look how crazy this looks. So there's still some product in there. You can kind of see that I like scraped out quite a bit of it. There aren't many scrubby beads in it anymore. It doesn't twist up anymore. So for me, this is an empty. I don't really want to go through the rest of this. I like this because it is a stick form. You can just go in and just scrub it like a regular lipstick versus having a jar and having to stick your finger in it and then scrub it with your finger. Nothing wrong with that, but I do like the ease of use with this little scrubby one. The formulation of this is okay for me. I like something that's very scrubby. For a very long time, I used the Lush lip scrubs because they're basically sugar. It's basically sugar, like very big granules of it, and use it you know, to exfoliate your lips. This one is encapsulated into more of this lip balmy texture, and then it has the scrubbies in it. So you do have a little bit of a waxy feel whenever you're scrubbing your lips, but you can still feel the granules. But sometimes I felt like I didn't get enough granules and it was a little too waxy. So I'd have to really scrub it and then use my finger to like scrub the granules in there so I could prevent more of the balmy texture. I wanted more scrubby and less balmy, you know? And I could probably get past that, but I think this is meant to not only exfoliate the lips, but also hydrate it after the fact, because it leaves this waxy film on the lips. And because you have to kind of wash it off, whether you use your fingers or use a paper towel or like, you know, a face cloth or something, it gets on the perimeters of my lips and it just feels waxy, and I don't like that. I like a lip scrub that completely washes off, doesn't leave anything on the lips. So this just was not the best one for me. I think I need something a little bit more scrubby and something that doesn't have that balmy texture to it. May be nice for some people if you don't want to use a lip balm after the fact. It's kind of like a 2-in-1. But for me, I like to go in with a different product afterwards. So not my favorite, probably wouldn't recommend it. I'm kind of still on the hunt for a good lip scrub. Right now I'm using the Makeup by Mario one, and that one is better in texture to me and also doesn't leave as much of a film on the lips, but still kind of like not in love with it yet. So if you guys have recommendations for a lip scrub, let me know. All right, another teeny tiny product that I got as a gift with purchase is the Augustinus. Clearly, I still don't know how to say this, but it is the Rich Cream from that brand. And I have this little tiny tube of it, but I also have the smaller size of it that I got in my Cult Beauty advent calendar. I still haven't opened that because I've been using this one. I believe I also got another one in the Space and K one. So I have 2 of them. Right off the bat, would I spend my own money on it? Like just this product, not in an advent calendar, not as like a gift with purchase? I don't know. I can't get over the hump of the price tag. This is so expensive. Even the small one is like crazy expensive to me. But the product itself, it's good. I like it. But it's not like I can't live without this type of thing. It's not like the Deeux one, you know? I really enjoy this for my recovery nights. So I do skin cycle. I talked about this in a previous video. And on my recovery nights, when I'm giving my skin as much moisture as it can take up, I like to use this as my moisturizer. And it's really, really nice because it's a thick cream, but it still has a little bit of runniness to it. So it blends out really nicely. Whenever you start to blend this into the skin, it starts melting into the skin and it blends very, very beautifully. Again, you can kind of feel your skin soaking this up. Like the sensorial feel of this going onto the skin is just beautiful. Like you can definitely tell how luxe it is by the way it just like melts down and your skin absorbs it. I feel like when I use this at night, my skin is extremely hydrated, even up until the morning. If I wait a little bit, like I do my coffee and breakfast and stuff like that, and then I wash my face, even past that, my skin is looking real nice and hydrated. I wake up and my skin looks glowy and plump. It definitely feels like a thicker moisturizer that has some sort of oil to it though. So if you are sensitive to oils, or if like facial oils are too much for you, then this may feel a little bit too heavy. I think if you have any sort of dry skin, this would be actually incredible for you. But even for me, I think that this is really nice. I would not use this during the day unless I was having really bad like skin barrier issues at the moment and my skin was super irritated and really, really dry. I feel like this just really balanced and evened out all of like my skin texture or any irritation that I may have been having. It's really beautiful. I think it's great, but would I spend my own money on it? No, probably not, because oh my goodness, it's so expensive. It's so expensive. If you already know that this is something you are going to use all the time, maybe it's like your holy grail, then get it on discount when you can, okay? Like, no judgment, honestly. But for me, I'm okay with having my 2 smaller bottles, which probably equals 1, honestly. Next up, we have the L'Occitane Almond Shower Oil. This is my favorite. I love this. If I were to buy any more expensive than drugstore type of body wash, it would be this one, because this formulation is just so nice. It is a shower oil. However, I really enjoy this one because it does suds up. It does give you a really nice lather. And when it comes to body wash, I like something that lathers. Sue me. It is a pretty strong like almond scent. Like as you lather it up and with the warmth and the steam of the shower, it kind of just wafts all over, and it smells beautiful, truly. And then when you get out of the shower, your skin feels super soft, like you used a shower oil, but like not full on. Like it's not like you doused yourself in oil. It's kind of like the feeling of a body oil after you've given it time to absorb. That's the feeling of it. And you do have a very slight almond scent. For me, it does not linger too long. It does linger for a little bit, maybe like less than an hour, but after that it pretty much goes away. But my skin stays feeling really soft. I do have nights where I'm lazy and I don't want to go in and put lotion on. I'll admit that. I feel like everyone has those moments. If I do that and I use the shower oil, I don't feel really dry. I don't feel like my skin is like scaly. I feel like I'm okay without putting an extra moisturizer on top of this every single night, you know? It's definitely not going to take the place of a lotion, but my skin is not going to feel as stripped as with other body washes. I have backups of this because I'm on L'Occitane's PR list, which I'm super grateful for, and they send me refills, and I feel so spoiled because I have this on deck. Okay, makeup. I have a few makeup products here. My first makeup product, I have two empties of this. Who am I? This is the Kosas Brow Pop Nano. I have the shade Brown Black. That is like the perfect shade for my brows. I have it in now because I have backups of this. I bought backups of this the last Sephora sale, and I most likely will do it again. I'm completely obsessed with these. These do have a spoolie on one side, and then on the other side is the brow pencil, and it is the most micro, most fine tip that I have ever tried when it comes to an eyebrow pencil. Now there are other ones that are on the market currently that came out, I think, after this one. Like Benefit came out with the detailer one. There's another one, it's slipping my mind completely, but there's a couple that I've seen recently that are supposed to be micro ones like this one, but this micro detailer is perfect. You would think if you have thicker brows like I do, it would like take forever and it would just like not be the best product. But I actually really love this micro tip because I feel like it goes between my actual brow hairs really well. With thicker brow pencils, I almost felt like when I was kind of drawing on the pencil, it would kind of overlap my skin and my hairs at the same time. So especially if it was a waxier pencil, it would kind of like push down my brow hairs and only half draw onto the skin. So it took a lot more effort to fill in my brows, and at the end they would look a little more thick than I intended them to. But with this one, I can brush my brows up with like a pomade or with a brow gel, get them into shape, and then anywhere that I have sparse areas, I can go in and I can actually draw onto the skin, and it fills in my brows so well. I feel like they never look too thick. They always look nice and clean. It's only slightly waxy, but for the most part, it's just straight up pigment. And I love that because I go in with multiple brow products, so I don't necessarily need my brow pencil to be waxy, and I don't need my brow pencil to be the one to hold my brows up. You know what I mean? I just need it to draw on fake hairs. I do go through them very fast. It's kind of unfortunate how fast I go through these, and they are pricey, so when I can get them on sale and I can get backups of them, I will. So I would recommend it if you have been eyeing a more fine detailing type of brow pencil. I think it's so worth it. The brown black shade is perfect as well. It's not too dark for my brows, but it also isn't a brown, so it doesn't look like an obvious, you know, it's not obvious that I drew some brow hairs on there. It really just blends in perfectly and I love it. And I also love the size of the spoolie. It's nice and small and it's nice and stiff, so I can actually go in there, brush my brows up, and I can also kind of like diffuse any of the actual pencil whenever I need to. So really, really good. Super highly recommend this. Now, also talking about another brow product is the Rare Beauty Brow Gel, the Flexible Lifting Gel. Now, this was sold out for a very long time. It was kind of hard to get your hands on, but once they restocked it on Sephora's website, I bought a couple backups because I really, really like this brow product too. Now, I've talked about this one in previous videos, but I really enjoy this because it holds my brows in place. It keeps them up all day without feeling hard. They don't dry down like an actual gel. I would say that this is more of a liquefied wax gel hybrid. My brows tend to droop down. A lot of brow products like Brow Freeze from Anastasia, the NYX brow glue, the soap brow things, none of those keep my brows up. My brows always fall down, especially the tail end of my brows, but this keeps them up all day and I love it. Sometimes it can leave a little bit of a residue if I do like my foundation and concealer and stuff first, so I have to make sure that I do this first before going in with the rest of my complexion products, or else I'll get like crusties and stuff at the top. But I don't think it's necessarily the actual product. I think it's when it mixes with other makeup products. It does have a longer bristle side and a shorter bristle side. It's very, very subtle though. It almost looks the same, but I have noticed, I think I've noticed that one side looks a little bit thicker or a little bit longer than the other side, but truly think this is beautiful. I can use this before filling my brows in with a brow pencil. Like, it doesn't get too waxy to where it doesn't allow any of the pigment from a brow pencil to actually go onto the eyebrows. I can do this first and I have no issues. Like, I could probably put a little bit on here because I have some left over on the brush. There's none in the tube, but I already repurchased it. I would highly recommend it if you're in the market for a new brow gel. I would mostly recommend it to you if you have issues with other brow gels, like if other ones aren't helping your brows stay up, or just generally if you're in the market for a new brow gel, this would be my pick. Next up we have this. Now, this is not fully used up. It's expired though. I did a recent declutter that is going to go up, and I decluttered this one because it's smelling a little funky and I haven't used this in a very long time. I think I bought this in 2020, so it's definitely expired. Let's talk about the actual product. I hate the applicator. I think it's so messy. I wish they put it in the same applicator as their Flawless filter, like the mini one. I wish they had like the doe foot and everything, but this very, very messy. Don't like the sponge tip. Just not generally a fan of it. I never used to care that much, but whenever you use a product like this on a day-to-day basis, it just starts to get really messy and just a little irritating. I do, however, like that you can open and close the actual applicator so you can decide like when more product can be squeezed out or not. If you've used the e.l.f. dupe one of it, it doesn't have that, and those get even more messy than this does. This is in the shade Spotlight, and I really like this as a very natural sheen type of highlight. Like, you see how my skin is just naturally a little bit more glowy right now? This gives me that effect. Like, if I'm going more matte with overall with my skin and I still want a little bit of shine, this will give it to me. So this is dried out, whatever is on the sponge. When it's not dried out and it's new product, I will say that it actually blends out very, very nicely. It definitely has some sheen, like a very light shine particles to it, but I wouldn't necessarily categorize it as glitter. I really, really enjoy the subtle sheen that this gives my makeup. I can use this under my foundation, under concealer, or I can use it on top, and either way that I use it, it just looks really, really beautiful, like a lit from within glow. Definitely delivers. One thing about Charlotte Tilbury, it's expensive, but they deliver on what they claim. But for me, I probably won't repurchase it. One, because I did buy this one and I never used it up. Like, I ended up using other products and stuff, and I really haven't reached for it that much in the last like year or two. So I probably wouldn't repurchase it. But if what you're looking for is a sheen like this, I would definitely recommend it. It really, really is good. It dries down as well. That's another thing. It doesn't stay really like creamy and liquefied on the skin. It dries down onto the skin really nicely. So you don't have to worry about this slipping and sliding all over. I do wish they changed the packaging on it. Honestly, I know this is kind of iconic at this point, but if they changed the packaging, I would probably consider repurchasing it, honestly. Lastly, we have some hair care here, and the first one, no surprise here, my Living Proof Perfect Hair Day Advanced Clean Dry Shampoo. This is my favorite dry shampoo. This is the one that I have used the most consistently throughout the last couple of years. I love it. It feels very lightweight in the hair. I like to apply it in my hair and leave it overnight, and then I'll like zhuzh it out in the morning. My hair feels clean, it feels lightweight, and it also adds a little bit of volume. It's great, and it also prolongs the amount of time that I can go between washing my hair without it feeling really heavy and thick in the hair. I would definitely repurchase this. However, I am in the market for non-aerosol dry shampoos. I've been testing out a L'Occitane one. I want to try the Day brand. I think that they recently came out with one. K18 has a spray dry shampoo. So I don't know. I'm just interested in trying out new ones. But if none of those work, if all of those fail, I for sure will be going back to this one. All right, next is the Living Proof Full Dry Volume and Texture Spray. This I love because of the scent of it. It smells so good. It just smells like a hair salon. I think that it has enough hold to be my hairspray as well as my texture spray. The less finishing products that I can use in my hair, the better, because I'm not a fan of crunchy hair. I'll do it if I have to. Like if I need a style to stay all day, I don't really care, you know, but on a day-to-day basis, if I can help it, then I want something that's going to be fluffy and bouncy in the hair. Sometimes this can get crunchy though if you spray too much in one area, but it's really easy to kind of just like scrunch out and it goes away. I like this a lot. I feel like I would like a little bit more hold from it, but that's not the purpose of this. This is for texture, and for that, it gives really, really good texture. I do have a lot of layers in my hair, as you see. I didn't put anything in my hair to finish it, by the way, because I don't know, I just didn't feel like it. This always just kept my hair looking really piecey. It kept the layers from kind of just blending in together and looking like one big spiral, you know? So this is really, really nice for that. If you want more of a piecey look whenever you finish your hair, try a texture spray. This one I would recommend. I really, really like this one. All right, guys, and those were all of my Sephora product empties. Those were all the products that you can purchase at Sephora that I have emptied in the last like 3 months or so. I do have a lot more products here in my empty basket. As you can see, we still have a lot in there. So I will be doing another like a part 2 empties video of all the other products that are not available at Sephora, but I thought this would be a little bit more niche for you guys if you're shopping the Sephora sale and you kind of want to see all the products that I've finished and what my thoughts are. Let me know what you guys plan on purchasing during the Sephora sale, or if you're being good and you're skipping it, let me know that too, because I feel like I need a little inspiration to hold myself accountable and have a little bit more self-control. I think that is much needed. Let me know if you want to see a Sephora sales haul, a little try on haul video in the comments down below. Just let me know what you guys want to see from me. I do have some fun video ideas coming up. As always, everything is going to be linked in the description box down below, as well as in the YouTube shopping program. A lot of times the products are there so you can click right in there, but sometimes if I can't find it in there, then I can't tag it. So they will be in the description box down below. If you do shop through any of my links or through the YouTube shopping program, they do help me out. They are affiliate links and codes. So I do really appreciate it whenever you guys do shop through my links. It helps me a ton, especially since this is my full-time job. But if you do not, totally fine. I still really enjoy giving you guys all my product recommendations. That is everything from me for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!